What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to be taking a trip away from Gotham City, and we're going to head to Metropolis by way of Smallville. And we're going to take a look at 1978's Superman the movie, starring Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Marlon Brando, Ned Beatty, Jackie Cooper, Glenn Ford, Margot Kidder, and Terrence Stamp. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And like I said during the introduction, today we're going to leave the darkness of Gotham City and we're going to enter the bright lights of Metropolis. And we're going to discuss a series of films where, except for one of them, I have never seen all of these. So these next few days are going to be very interesting for me. Now, our movie opens on Krypton, where Jor-El, a member of the Kryptonian High Council, discovers that the planet will be destroyed when it drifts out of its orbit toward its red supergiant sun. The other council members dismissed Jor-El's claims. So, in order to save his son, Kal-El, Jor-El places the infant into a spaceship and sends it to Earth, where his molecular structure will give him superhuman strength as well as other powers. Afterwards, Krypton is destroyed, and the ship lands near Smallville, Kansas. And Kal-El is now 3 years old, as it's taken 3 years to journey from Krypton to Earth. And the boy is found by Jonathan and Martha Kent, who are astonished at the boy's strength when he is able to lift their truck. They decide to raise the boy as their own, and they name him Clark, which is Martha's maiden name. Jonathan tells the boy that he must have been sent to Earth for a reason, which gives Clark a sense of purpose throughout his teenage years. After the passing of Jonathan Kent from a heart attack, a now 18-year-old Clark hears a psychic call and discovers a glowing green crystal in the remains of his spacecraft, which compels him to travel to the Arctic, where a fortress of solitude, which resembles Kryptonian architecture, emerges from the ice. Once inside the fortress, a hologram of Jor-El explains to Clark his true origins, and after 12 years of educating him on the reasons why he was sent to Earth and the powers that he now possesses, Clark leaves the fortress wearing a blue and red suit with a red cape and the House of El family crest emblazoned on his chest. Clark then travels to Metropolis, where he becomes a reporter for the Daily Planet and meets his co-worker, Lois Lane, whom he develops a romantic relationship with. An attraction too. Lois gets assigned to meet Air Force One at the airport, but her helicopter transport catches on an electrical cable during liftoff, causing it to crash on the side of the Daily Planet building, knocking the pilot unconscious. Clark publicly uses his powers for the first time in order to save Lois, which astonishes the crowd which is gathered below. He then thwarts a jewel thief attempting to scale a building and captures robbers fleeing from the police and deposits their getaway cabin cruiser on Wall Street. He even finds time to rescue a girl's cat from a tree and saves Air Force One after a lightning strike destroys an engine. The Caped Wonder, who is now an instant celebrity, visits Lois at her penthouse apartment the next evening and takes her for a romantic flight, allowing her to interview him for an article in which she dubs him Superman. Meanwhile, criminal genius Lex Luthor learns of a joint U.S. Army and U.S. Navy nuclear missile test, so he buys hundreds of acres of worthless desert land and reprograms one of the two missiles to detonate in the San Andreas Fault. Knowing that Superman can stop his plan, Lex deduces that a recently discovered meteorite is actually from Krypton and is of weakness to Superman. After Lex and his associates, Otis and Eve Tessmacher, retrieve a piece of the meteorite, Luthor then lures Superman to his underground lair and reveals his plan to cause everything west of the San Andreas Fault to sink into the Pacific Ocean, leaving Luthor's presumably worthless desert land as the new west coast of the United States. Lex then exposes Superman to the meteor piece's mineral, kryptonite, which weakens Superman greatly, as Luthor taunts him about the second missile, which is headed towards the random target of Hackensack, New Jersey. Luthor leaves Superman to die, but Tessmacher is horrified at the fact that Lex doesn't seem to care that her mother lives in Hackensack, New Jersey. Knowing that Superman always keeps his word, Tessmacher helps him as long as he promises to save her mother first by stopping the New Jersey-bound missile. Once freed, Superman diverts the eastbound missile into outer space, saving Tessmacher's mother as promised. However, in doing so, Superman is unable to stop the California-bound missile in time. The missile explodes in the San Andreas Fault, and massive earthquakes begin to erupt across California, damaging the Golden Gate Bridge and even breaching the Hoover Dam. Superman is able to mitigate the effects of the explosion by sealing the fault line. Meanwhile, Lois is on assignment on the West Coast, investigating Lex Luthor's land deal. While Superman is busy saving others, Lois's car falls into a crevice caused from one of the aftershocks, trapping her as it fills with dirt and debris. Sadly, Lois suffocates before he can reach her. Angered over not being able to save Lois, Superman defies Jor-El's earlier warning not to manipulate human history and instead heeds Jonathan Kent's advice that he must be on Earth for a reason. Superman accelerates around the Earth, traveling several minutes backwards in time in order to prevent Lois's death, while also undoing the damage caused by the missile and the earthquake. After saving the West Coast, Superman delivers Lex and Otis to prison before flying into the sunrise for further adventures. Now, I think I've mentioned either on Dad's Not Always on Wrestling or possibly some other show in the past, I've never been a Superman fan. I used to know a guy who was incredibly obsessed with Superman. And his obsession just helped to further push me away from Superman and pushed me more towards Batman, which I was already a fan of. since there was always Batman versus Superman. But I have to say, sitting down and watching this movie for the first time, start to finish all the way through, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. My favorite scene, I think, was when Lois was interviewing Clark on her penthouse terrace, because it was just so cute watching the way Lois would talk to Superman. And you could see how much she was infatuated with him. And Superman knowing deep down inside that it's just the bumbling Clark that she's always dismissing at work. And he's finally getting what he wants in the fact that Lois is noticing him and falling in love with him. But she's not falling in love with Clark. She's falling in love with Superman. But just that entire scene and exchange I thought was so adorable and so well done. I sat there literally grinning from ear to ear the entire time that scene happened. Gene Hackman I thought was great as Lex Luthor. He always plays a great villainous asshole. You know, I don't think I can really even think of a film where Gene Hackman plays a good guy, because he's just got that demeanor about him. He is so good in the villain role, and he proves it again here as Lex Luthor. Margot Kidder I thought was awesome as Lois. I actually had the privilege of speaking with her many, many, many years ago. Bumped into her at a convention. Me and some of my friends were there to meet some wrestlers that were there. And one of my friends was wearing a Chris Hero t-shirt. And if you guys know about Chris Hero, his old logo very much resembled the Superman logo, except instead of having the S, it had a CH in it. Well, Margot actually saw the shirt from a distance and came over to us because she thought that it was CR at first for Chris Reeve, and began talking to us about the shirt. And we had to explain to her, no, this is the shirt of a professional wrestler. His name is Chris Hero, Superman. And just ended up having probably a good 10-minute conversation with her as a result of a wrestling shirt. But I really enjoyed her as Lois here. Jackie Cooper, okay? Jackie Cooper is Perry White in this. And I will always remember my grandfather talking to me about watching Jackie Cooper movies back when Jackie Cooper was a boy. Movies like The Champ and Treasure Island, both of which had Wallace Beery acting alongside of him. I mean, Jackie Cooper received a Best Acting Oscar nomination when he was 9 years old. So you want to talk about a legacy and some serious clout in this film? Jackie Cooper. And I'm sure at some point I'm going to get to those films, The Champ and Treasure Island. I have to acquire them first. But just hearing the stories that my grandpa would talk about how much he loved Wallace Beery and Jackie Cooper, and then to see Jackie Cooper in this as Perry White and actually get to see him act, albeit later in his career, I can see why my grandpa really liked him. So for my rating when it comes to Superman, I might surprise some of you with this. I am going to give Superman the movie 4 out of 5 stars. I have to say that I honestly enjoyed this film more than I thought I would. After rebelling away from the Boy Scout, the man from Metropolis, for so many years, sitting down with a clear head, no pressure, and watching this film, I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. And I would be remiss to give it anything lower than 4. I can't give it 5 or 4.5 because it's the first time I've seen it. In time, if I see it more and I develop more of a fondness over it, if I were to revisit it, it could theoretically bump up. First time seeing it, I feel 4 out of 5 is fair. What do you guys think out there? Those of you that have seen Superman the movie, do you guys enjoy it? How would you rank it? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Whatever you do, though, when you get out there on social media, let's try to get those hashtags trending. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag Statboy Approved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, when we stick around Metropolis and we take a look at Superman 2, the Donner Cut, the official version of this by most people's standards. Maybe somewhere down the road we'll take a look at the Dick Lester cut, but from everything that I've been told over the years, everything that I've read, my research, Superman 1 and 2 was supposed to be one cohesive story, and so that's the way we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it through the vision of Richard Donner, who directed the first movie, so that we can have as much of that cohesive vision as possible. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in today, watching the premiere, leaving your thoughts and comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys. Likewise, all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in a little bit later in the day, watching on demand, leaving your thoughts and comments down here, thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate all my loyal fans and viewers out there that tune in on a regular basis, show me that love and support. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time.